we're going to give our top 5 NBA guards. So this can be point guards or shooting guards. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to start at number 5 and then work our way to number 1. So I'll kick this one off first. My number 5. I've rearranged this a little, but I had to kick somebody off because I forgot about somebody else. But number 5, I put it Chris Paul. A fantastic point guard. I don't like Chris Paul. I'm sure me and plenty of other people. But he is a great point guard. Kind of an ass, but great point guard nonetheless. He's, I think, right behind LeBron. I think he's the best passer in the game right now. And I mean, somehow, some way, even though he's an ass, he's a great leader. Clearly, his locker room seem to love him. He does a great job at getting teams together. Go back to OKC. If James Harden wasn't in Houston, probably Houston. What he did in Phoenix this past year, fantastic at getting guys to win games. I don't know how. I don't know what he does, but Chris Paul, undoubtedly great on defense, scrappy, excellent shooter, and passing is obviously his strongest suit. So Chris Paul, I put at my number 5.
I put Luka Doncic as my number 5.
Okay.
Very young player, doing really well for himself in the league.
Yeah.
Very interested on what's to come. Consistency is very much a key factor to play into this. If this man can carry on into the next season and season after that when it comes to his play.
I put him as on our forward list. I put him there, but he's in that weird kind of hybrid where he's. I think technically he is listed as a guard because he's basically like a point forward. But yeah, we're in that kind of weird spot in the NBA where it's like there's a ton of hybrid players that it's just kind of strange. But yeah, Luka is that dude. You definitely want him running the show on your team because he knows what the hell he's doing for sure. Usually you just want the ball in his hands and say just go score the damn thing. But at the same time, Luka's outstanding. Number 4, I put Kyrie Irving, even though I still have a little bit of a grudge against Kyrie as a Boston fan. Kyrie is great. Without a doubt, I can't take anything away from the guy. Has arguably the best handles in the NBA. Can score from legit anywhere. Great passer. He's good on defense. I don't think he's great, but he's good. If he could stop being so woke, I think it would help his game a lot. But you know,
our brother Irving,
right, Afro Man Irving. If you know, whatever. If you want to do that, fine. But yeah, Kyrie is he's exactly. I just can't take anything away from the guy. Like, I did not want to put him on my list, but when I'm like, damn it, when it comes down to it, he's crazy talented. Dude is from New Jersey. He's got the handles that anybody would probably want to emulate. I think personally, he probably has the best handles. It's in the strong second. I would put probably Steph, but yeah, Kyrie, I put at number 4.
My number 4 was James Harden. I put James Harden number 4. Another strong man when it comes to handles. Came off an offseason out of shape, was still putting decent, moderate numbers on, out of shape. A man who very much decent shooting when it doesn't matter, but when it does matter, average shooting.
Right, that's very true.
Yes. Make a shoot daylights out mid-season. When come postseason, this man is like, sir. But for the most part, this man, any team would throw money at to have on the team. So
yes, I put him as he's my number 3. It is kind of funny to think that a year ago, these Sixers had the opportunity to trade Harden for Ben Simmons, and they're like, "No, Simmons is our guy." Now they can't get rid of the guy.
It was like, cool, you just stuck with it, and I'll tell you, got to deal with it too. Go on.
So even at the time, I was like, "Why would you not take that deal?" Like, I wouldn't even have asked any questions. Just an even exchange Simmons for Harden, like, of course. But for whatever reason, they thought that he was their guy, and this was the year. Forget about the last 4 years. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. And like, you know what, Ben, you gotta go.
Yeah, too late for that. No, he lost his chances.
But yeah, good luck on shopping him around now. You'll be lucky to get a couple Lappy Tappies and a bottle of Tang for him. So, number 3 for you, Shaq.
Damian Lillard. I put Damian Lillard as my number 3.
Game time.
That's what I'm saying. Very much a well-rounded player. I like Damian Lillard as a player.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, well-rounded. Can't be negative. Very loyal to a degree player, I feel like.
Extremely loyal,
yeah.
yes.
So I give that's another plus in my book. Sticking with something and just saying, like, this is to make it or whatever. And there ain't no other option. I'm sticking to it. So,
right.
Give Dame Lillard.
I put Dame as my number 2. Dame Doll is that dude. I love watching him play. Like you said, he's extremely loyal. He was committed to winning in Portland. Did not want to go somewhere else. Wanted to do the old-fashioned way. Now we'll see what happens. He's still there, so even though he's been pretty clear that he doesn't want to be there, yeah, I don't know if somebody's gonna make a blockbuster trade to go get him, because I just don't see how he stays there after this past offseason. But anyway, we'll see what happens. He's just incredible to watch play. He can legit shoot from anywhere on the court. He's personally my favorite point guard in the NBA. He is not only a great basketball player, but even a solid rapper. Dame Doll is just that dude. It's really unfortunate that Portland can't seem to get a competent team to put around him to go make a championship run, because he's made some deep playoff runs in his career, but never has had enough help to get over the hump. CJ McCollum has never been enough. No offense. Carmelo Anthony was the closest, like, number 3 option that they've ever had. So, yeah, if Portland could just get their act together and go acquire some, legit talent, we're having a completely different conversation. But it seems like he's probably going to be out of there, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Who was your number 2, Shaq?
My number 2, very surprising, upsetting too many people. I've said this many weeks ago, even though it should technically be different. But I put Russell Westbrook as my number 2, as up there.
Wow, that Jesus.
Yeah, my number 2, generally because unfortunately this man does not perform where we kind of need him to be, where it matters when it comes to postseason. But come regular season, we can still get the numbers out of Russ when it comes to Mr. Triple Double himself. When it comes to, of course, like rebounding, shooting, and of course the assists. So I give it to him as being like trying to be a well-rounded player. Of course, this seems to be different. We'll see from him being on like another stacked team with LeBron and AD on it. We'll see what happens to him. But as much as people hate on him because he can't shoot necessarily where he needs to be and he can't perform where he needs to be, I still like Russ as like a player type person type of thing. And I think he's very much a very likable player when it comes to being well-rounded. But we shall see with being on a whole different vibe of going from being the man on a team to being part of a bigger picture kind of team. Like, look, you already have what we want here. You're just here to help it.
You're not the best player on this team. You're not the leader on this team. Like, you're pretty much at the best. At best, you're number 2 at pretty much everything on this team. So it's like, can he still be productive in that kind of environment? Which is we're about to find out, and I hope he can. Because it will be a damn shame if he goes his whole career without winning a championship. Yeah,
I'm okay with him winning one, and that would very much make his career to a degree. I feel like a very much whole career.
I originally had him at number 5, but then I forgot about James Harden because I was only thinking point guards. But I'm like, if we're doing all guards, I have to put Harden in here. So I had to rearrange my list, and unfortunately Westbrook got the boot.
I would have booted James Harden, unfortunately, out of the boot when it comes to it. I'm sorry, I wouldn't.
That's one of those things where I'm like, all right, if I was starting a team, I'd rather have Harden or Westbrook. I'd probably take Harden. I mean, both ironically don't have a ring under their belt, but At least Harden can shoot the damn ball, so I'll take Harden.
I'll take it for the sake of if I want the assist on rebounding off the matter, I would do that.
Yeah, and there is that. Like, he's without a doubt plays the hardest amongst him and Giannis. I think play the hardest among any NBA player right now. But at the same time, Russ he'll shoot you into a game and then shoot you right back out of that same game.
Unfortunately, man, it can't be perfect.
But yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting year. I am super excited to see how the Lakers look this coming year, because it's gonna be a strange fit. It is a strange fit that they will have to make work over there in LA, but if anybody can do it, I guess it is GM LeBron James. So yeah, interesting. Anyway, number one, undoubtedly I have to put Steph Curry at the top of my list. I was really debating between him and Patrick Beverly. Just trying to think of a bad card really quick. But in the end, Steph won in my book. Steph Curry is just, if I could have any point guard, I would have to pick Steph. Just to me, the most well-rounded, scoring, passing, defensively, great leader. You're not gonna ever have to worry about Steph getting into any off-the-court trouble. Likable guy, your friendly neighborhood light skin. Like, what else can you say about it?
You say that like that brother Spider-Man or something. I can see that nigga just sitting with Trey and being out there like, you know what? I feel like anybody would have done this with this kind of a power psych came out here.
That is Steph Curry at the end of the day.
Spider-Man.
The Bay Area's savior. Literally saved that franchise. It's just that whole area as far as basketball is concerned. So, Steph Curry.
I also had Steph Curry as my number one. It's funny because a couple weeks ago, I honestly firmly put Russ above Steph, but I've come to realize that's because of personal reasons that I love Russ over. So I came to let me put my personal reasons aside and let me go ahead and just give Steph his number one that he deserves, even though my personal favorite one, number one, is Russ. But Steph is very much an all-around offensive weapon. Man can still get it done on defense, and he's still a very pleasant person to you see. So I'm gonna give Steph his props where he needs it. So
he is one of the most entertaining athletes to watch play amongst any sport. Like, watching him play basketball is just like, he puts on a show, without a doubt. Puts on a show, and it's like getting the chance to watch the Warriors play, which hopefully Klay Thompson comes back this year and is all good, because I want to see the Warriors back relevant again to how they were just a couple years ago. It's funny how quickly that thing got derailed, but as long as they, Klay comes back healthy and they're back to being a I don't know about title contender, but a playoff team, and Warrior games are back on national TV again, it should be very compelling to watch Steph do his thing again. So that's our top 5 guards. Do you have any honorable mentions? Anybody else you would like to kind of put out? For me, if I have number 6, I did have Donovan Mitchell right on the outside looking in. I think he's talk about Spider-Man. That's Spider-Man right there. Donovan Mitchell is an absolute show as well. Shame he plays in such a small market out there in Utah, but D Mitchell is just
I would give him that too, because the only reason people acknowledge the Jazz like that is because of Donovan Mitchell.
Oh yeah,
nobody would ever even think twice of being like, I'm getting dressed like Utah Jazz. I was kind of like, there's Donovan Mitchell out there. So
he's that dude, and the fact that the Jazz were just like a game or two away from going to the Western Conference Finals over the Clippers is like, damn, they were just right there. Had him on the run for sure, but he's just a ton of fun to watch as well. I was one of those people who said that even a few years ago he should have won Rookie of the Year over friggin' Ben Simmons, but everybody was like, oh, Ben Simmons gave me a great player. Stupid ass motherfuckers. Donovan Mitchell should have won that damn award. Him, John Morant out in Memphis as well. I'd probably put him in like 7 or so. Yeah, I guess I'd have to really think about kind of the rest of the list there. But Mitchell and Morant are both outstanding as well. And young dudes who are on the come up if their team could just get it together, especially Memphis. So